Aging is an inevitable part of life, one that brings not only physical changes but also emotional, social, and mental shifts. While it can feel overwhelming at times, aging also offers opportunities for growth, connection, and rediscovery. Imagine embracing this journey with wisdom, grace, and a sense of purpose. In today's discussion, we'll explore inspiring stories of adaptation and resilience, proving that aging is not the end but a new beginning. Are you ready to uncover the beauty in this stage of life? Press 1 if you're excited or 0 if you're curious but unsure. Let's dive in together. Aging brings undeniable physical changes. But it's about more than just wrinkles or gray hair, it's about adapting to a body that may no longer function as it once did. Take Emma, for example. In her 30s, she was an avid marathon runner who found joy in pushing her limits. By her 50s, persistent knee pain made running difficult, leaving her feeling frustrated and disconnected from the activity she loved. "I still feel like that runner at heart," she shared. "But my body just won't cooperate anymore." Instead of giving up, Emma chose to adapt. She discovered swimming, a low-impact exercise that challenged her in new ways while being gentle on her joints. It gave her the same sense of accomplishment and joy she felt while running, but in a way her body could sustain. Emma's journey teaches an important lesson: physical changes are inevitable, but they don't have to define or limit you. By exploring alternatives and embracing change, you can continue doing the things you love in new and fulfilling ways. Have you faced similar challenges? How have you adapted? Share your story and inspire others to find creative solutions for staying active and vibrant as they age. As we age, our social circles often evolve in unexpected ways. Friends we once saw regularly may move away, start families, or drift apart, leaving behind a sense of loneliness. Michael, a retired teacher in his 60s, experienced this firsthand. In his 30s, his weekends were filled with social gatherings and lively conversations. But by his 50s, those interactions had dwindled. "I didn't realize how much my identity was tied to my social life until it wasn't there anymore," he admitted. Feeling isolated, Michael decided to take action. He joined a local book club, where he discovered not only new friendships but also stimulating discussions that reignited his passion for learning. He also began volunteering at a nearby animal shelter, where he found purpose in caring for animals and connecting with others who shared his compassion. These activities not only helped Michael rebuild his social life but also brought a renewed sense of fulfillment and joy. His advice? Don't wait for connections to come to you, create them. By stepping out of your comfort zone and exploring new opportunities, you can cultivate meaningful relationships at any stage of life. What steps will you take to stay socially connected? Share your ideas and inspire others to do the same. One of the most emotionally challenging aspects of aging is dealing with loss. Whether it's the loss of a loved one, a job, or certain abilities, these experiences can deeply impact our emotional well-being. Nora, a retired nurse in her 60s, knows this all too well. After losing her husband of 40 years to cancer, she found herself facing not just the absence of a partner but also the loss of her best friend and confidant. "It felt like my whole world had collapsed," she shared. But amid her grief, Nora made a conscious choice to rebuild her life. She decided to pursue painting, a passion she had always dreamed of exploring but never had the time for. Through art, she found a way to express her emotions and reconnect with herself. Nora also joined a local grief support group, where she met others who understood her pain. Together, they shared their stories, offering each other comfort and resilience. "It's not easy," Nora admitted. "But I'm learning that life can still hold beauty, even after loss." Her journey is a reminder that while grief is inevitable, it's also a pathway to rediscovery and healing. How have you found hope in the face of loss? Share your journey below. As we grow older, one of the more subtle challenges we face is the mental strain that comes with realizing our minds may not be as sharp or quick as they once were. This can feel particularly difficult for those who have always prided themselves on their intellect. Arthur, a retired software engineer in his 70s, knows this feeling well. "I used to be the go-to person for solving tech problems," he shared. "But now I struggle to keep up with new programming languages and tools." At first, this realization left Arthur feeling frustrated and disconnected from the field he once dominated. But instead of letting this defeat him, Arthur chose to shift his focus. He began mentoring younger engineers, sharing the wealth of knowledge and experience he had gained over decades. "I may not be able to master the latest trends," he said, "but I can still contribute in a meaningful way." Through mentoring, Arthur rediscovered his value and felt a renewed sense of purpose. His story highlights an important truth: even as certain abilities change, your wisdom and experience remain invaluable. Have you ever found new ways to share your knowledge or adapt to mental challenges? Share your perspective and inspire others to do the same. One of the most difficult realities of aging is the sense of becoming invisible. In a world that often glorifies youth, older individuals can feel overlooked, undervalued, and even dismissed in social and professional settings. Linda, a former corporate executive in her 60s, experienced this firsthand. For decades, she was at the center of key decisions, leading teams and making impactful contributions. But as younger colleagues entered the workforce, she began to notice a shift. "I felt like my ideas were no longer being heard," she explained. "In meetings, people would talk over me, and it was as if I wasn't even there." This experience left Linda questioning her worth and place in the workplace. Rather than letting this discourage her, she decided to channel her energy into mentoring younger employees. By sharing her years of expertise and guiding others, she found a renewed sense of purpose and value. While it didn't entirely erase the sting of being overlooked, it gave me a meaningful way to contribute, she said. Linda's story reminds us that even when society seems to push us aside, we can find ways to reclaim our voice and make a difference. Have you ever felt invisible? How did you rediscover your sense of purpose? Financial insecurity is one of the harsh realities many face as they grow older. Even for those who have worked hard and planned carefully, unexpected events like health issues, economic downturns, or family emergencies can disrupt even the best-laid plans. Thomas, a man in his late 50s, experienced this firsthand when he was laid off just a few years before retirement. "I never thought I'd be this age and still worrying about how to pay the bills," he shared. The sudden loss of income was overwhelming, leaving him anxious about the future and the possibility of outliving his savings. Thomas knew he had to adapt. He made the difficult decision to downsize, moving to a smaller home and cutting back on unnecessary expenses. While the transition was humbling, it also taught him to find contentment in simpler pleasures, like enjoying a quiet morning coffee or spending time with loved ones. "I realized that a meaningful life doesn't depend on material wealth," he said. Thomas's journey highlights the importance of resilience and adaptability in the face of financial challenges. Have you had to adjust your lifestyle to navigate financial uncertainties? Share your story to inspire others facing similar struggles. As we age, the gradual loss of independence can be one of the most challenging realities to face. Tasks that were once second nature, such as cooking, cleaning, or driving, may become more difficult, requiring support from family, friends, or caregivers. Rachel, a woman in her early 60s, experienced this shift as she took on the role of caring for her elderly mother, who was diagnosed with dementia. It's incredibly hard to watch someone you love lose themselves, Rachel shared. And it's even harder to juggle caregiving when you're already feeling the effects of aging yourself. Between sleepless nights, constant worry, and the physical demands of caregiving, Rachel found herself on the brink of burnout. She felt as though her own identity had been consumed by her new responsibilities. Seeking relief, Rachel joined a local caregivers support group, where she connected with others facing similar struggles. It was a lifeline, she said. Talking to people who truly understood my situation gave me strength and practical advice. Rachel's story reminds us that caregiving, while a labor of love, can also be isolating and overwhelming. If you're a caregiver, have you sought support? Share your experience and tips for maintaining balance while caring for a loved one. Estrangement from family is a painful reality that many older adults face as children grow up, move away, and build their own lives. The physical and emotional distance can leave a deep sense of loneliness and loss. Mark, a retired construction worker in his 70s, knows this heartbreak all too well. After a family dispute spiraled out of control, he hadn't spoken to his son in over 5 years. "I never imagined my golden years would feel this empty," he shared. "The silence is deafening, especially during the holidays." Despite multiple attempts to reconcile, the distance remained, leaving Mark questioning where things had gone wrong. To cope, he turned to his local community. He began volunteering at a senior center and participating in group activities, where he met others who shared similar stories. "It didn't replace the loss of my relationship with my son," Mark admitted, "but it gave me a sense of belonging and purpose." Through these connections, Mark found a way to rebuild a support system and regain some joy in his life. Estrangement is never easy, but reaching out to others and building new relationships can help heal the heart. Have you faced family estrangement? How have you found strength and connection? Facing our own mortality is one of the most profound and sobering aspects of aging. The realization that there are more years behind us than ahead can bring a mix of fear, reflection, and urgency. Margaret, an 80-year-old retired teacher, shared her thoughts on this reality. "I think about death more now than ever before," she admitted. "It's not the fear of dying itself, it's the worry about leaving things unfinished or not having done enough." This awareness pushed Margaret to focus on what truly mattered to her. She began writing heartfelt letters to her grandchildren, documenting family history, and creating a journal filled with life lessons and cherished memories. These acts gave her a sense of purpose and legacy, allowing her to leave something meaningful for future generations. Margaret also prioritized spending her days engaged in activities that brought her joy, like gardening and reconnecting with old friends. "Facing mortality has made me realize how precious each day is," she said. Her story reminds us that while the inevitability of death can be daunting, it also offers a unique perspective on life. How do you embrace the time you have left? Share your thoughts on creating a meaningful legacy for those you love. The rapid pace of technological advancements has created a significant technological divide, leaving many older adults feeling left behind in a world that increasingly operates online. George, a 75-year-old retired engineer, once prided himself on staying ahead of the curve with the latest gadgets. I was the one helping others with their tech problems, he shared. Now, I struggle just to set up my smart TV or navigate new apps. This shift left George feeling disconnected and frustrated. As if the world was moving forward without him. Instead of giving up, George sought help from his grandson, who patiently guided him through the basics of using smartphones and smart home devices. It was humbling to ask for help, he admitted. But the bond it created with my grandson made it worthwhile. George also joined a local tech class designed for seniors, where he met others facing similar challenges. Learning in a supportive environment not only helped him regain confidence but also reminded him that it's never too late to adapt. His journey highlights an important lesson: while technology may feel intimidating, seeking support and taking small steps can bridge the gap. How have you tackled the challenges of adapting to technology? Share your experience below. Aging is a journey filled with challenges. But it's also one of growth, resilience, and rediscovery. As we've seen through these stories, adapting to physical changes, finding new connections, overcoming loss, and embracing life's uncertainties can open the door to new opportunities and meaningful experiences. Each stage of life offers its own wisdom and beauty, if we choose to embrace it. What about you? How have you turned challenges into moments of transformation? Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. Remember, you're not alone on this journey. There's a community of people navigating the same path, ready to support and inspire each other. If this discussion resonated with you, give it a like. Share it with someone who might need it. And subscribe for more empowering content. Together, let's make this chapter of life one filled with purpose, joy, and connection. You've got this.